Good afternoon, children. We are back again for the next lesson in English, which is a poem, Growing Up. There are two short poems in this topic, Mr. Thomas Frog, The Butterfly. Here are two fine poems that tell us about the changes that take place in the life of a frog and a butterfly as they are growing up. Let's read aloud the poem Mr. Thomas Frog. Little Tommy Tadpole began to weep and wail, for little Tommy Tadpole had lost his little tail, and his mother didn't know him as he wept upon a log, for he wasn't Tommy Tadpole but Mr. Thomas Frog. The poet who has written this poem is C.J. Dennis. Now let's listen to the explanation of the poem. The first stanza. Little Tommy Tadpole began to weep and wail. Tadpole means a stage in the life of a frog or toad. At first, a tadpole has a long tail but no arms or legs. A little tadpole named Tommy began to cry loudly. And what was the reason why he was crying loudly? For little Tommy Tadpole had lost his little tail. Yes, children, so he cried loudly for he had lost his tail. Let's move on to the second stanza. And his mother didn't know him as he wept upon a log. He sat on a piece of wood and cried, but his mother did not recognize him. Why his mother didn't recognize him? For he wasn't Tommy Tadpole but Mr. Thomas Frog. His mother didn't recognize him, for now he was no longer a tadpole, a baby frog. He had grown up and now he was Mr. Thomas Frog. So that was all in this poem, Mr. Thomas Frog. Children, let's look at the image of the life cycle of a frog. We have already learnt this in the first lesson in EVS 1. Here you can see how from the egg that it grows into a tadpole, then it gets next stage, the tadpole gets its legs, then it turns into a young frog, and finally it grows into an adult frog. Now let's move on to the second poem, The Butterfly. The fuzzy little caterpillar curled upon a leaf, made herself a chrysalis, and then fell asleep. While she was sleeping, she dreamed that she could fly, and later when she woke up, she was a butterfly. Let's go to the first stanza. The fuzzy little caterpillar curled upon a leaf. Fuzzy means covered with soft, fine hair that sticks up. In the same way, a caterpillar with soft, fine hair lay curled upon a leaf. Made herself a chrysalis and then fell asleep. She spun a hard covering around herself and then chrysalis, meaning a stage in the life cycle of a butterfly. It is also the name of the hard case in which the caterpillar lies till it is transformed into a butterfly. Made herself a chrysalis and then fell asleep. She spun a hard covering around herself and then went to sleep. The second stanza. While she was sleeping, she dreamed that she could fly. And as she slept, she dreamed that she could fly. And later, when she woke up, she was a butterfly. Later on, when she woke up, she found that she had turned into a butterfly. Let's look at this image. It's a life cycle of a butterfly. Even this we have learned in the first lesson in EVS 1. How the eggs are laid on the leaf, then it turns into a caterpillar, that is the larva. Then the pupa stage, also called as chrysalis, and finally it gets its wings and legs inside the chrysalis and turns and grows into a butterfly. Now let's begin with the written work of this poem. So children, kindly take a fresh page in your English notebook. Write today's date, the name of the poem, Growing Up. Question 1. Meanings. Fuzzy, covered with soft, fine hair that sticks up. Chrysalis, a stage in the life cycle of a butterfly. It is also the name of the hard case in which the caterpillar lies till it is transformed into a butterfly. Tadpole, a stage in the life of a frog or toad. At first, a tadpole has a long tail but no arms or legs. Question 2. From the poem Mr. Thomas Frog, mention A. One fact, B. One imaginary thing. Answer A. One fact: a tadpole loses its tail. B. One imaginary thing: a tadpole weeps and wail. Self-study. Note to be done in English notebook. Either stick or draw. Find more information about the life cycle of a frog and a butterfly. Present the information with the help of pictures, photos, or diagrams. So children, either you can stick or draw diagrams on this topic. Here you can see the picture, you can see this and draw neatly. If you want, you can color in your English notebook. Thank you.